So I get a lot of comments on the truck everywhere I go, all over the United States. I bought this Dodge Hemi new in 2017. I'm getting ready to turn 120,000 miles on it. Several years ago, just after it was new, I had it wrapped. I wanted to project the business, Rockology, and people roll down the window, hey, tell me what this means, and they'll call me on my phone number on the back and ask about a record or that sort of thing, and everybody always walks around it and checks it out. So I'm going to explain all the photos because every picture tells a story. So these are my stories. This Monkees toy, I'm a huge Monkees fan. I grew up listening to and watching the Monkees in the 60s. And this is John Cougar Mellencamp. I am a big fan, have been since really day one with John Cougar, back in the John Cougar days of rural Indiana. And I followed his whole career up until the present. Prince, I'm a huge fan. Purple Rain is one of my all-time favorite songs. The Doors, there's always been something very unique about Jim Morrison, you know, the classic rock star dying young, but just his whole life still today, there's kind of this aura and mysteries around him. I wanted to represent Jim, the bad boy, and this is one of his mug shots. The Jackson 5, actually my first album was a Jackson 5 album. And of course I watched the cartoons as a kid and so forth, but big Jackson 5 fan, and of course Michael Jackson fan, so I'm representing them here. Down here it gets a little personal. That actually is a picture of my original concert ticket to see Elvis for the first time in October of 1974 at the UD Arena in Dayton, Ohio. And this is another Elvis representation. That's a 1976 Harley Davidson that Elvis owned, and I brokered it a few years ago. I love Elvis vehicles, so I wanted to represent in some capacity an Elvis vehicle, and I thought the Harley Davidson is a perfect fit. The poster here is very country. It's a KRNT original theater poster, promotional poster of multiple different country music artists. And as you can see, Patsy Cline is an opening act. And I've had a lot of Patsy Cline memorabilia over the years and been involved in a lot of historical aspects of her life and coming forward with projects that have come out and so forth. So I wanted to represent Patsy. I wanted to represent country music. I thought this poster that I used to own was very fitting. The belt buckle ensemble from the 50s was actually worn by Hank Williams. In fact, I've got a photo of Hank Williams wearing this exact ensemble. This, of course, is an Elvis Presley autograph, an authentic autograph that was given to Shirley Connell, who's a longtime friend of mine, and she actually lived behind Graceland for years and knew Elvis, ran into him many times over decades in Memphis. And she got that autograph from Elvis in person, and I bought it from her, and I still to this day own that autograph in my collection. As we come around, I got all the ways to contact me, all the ways to see Rockology, the YouTube series, etc. When the guys at 12 Point Sign Works in Franklin did the wrap, I provided the pictures, and I said I want it to be kind of in a collage, obnoxious format. So when they put it all together, they kind of surprised me with all this. Really, it's clip art, but it's, you know, TCB, you know, given the rock sign, the records, the musical notes, and they really outdid themselves. The guys were great. They were young. They said they got tired of doing lawn maintenance trucks and delivery trucks. So when I said wrap it, I'm in the music business, they got all excited. So they really knocked themselves out. Great guys, again, 12 Point Sign Works in Franklin. This is a photo I actually took of ZZ Top. I was out on tour with Brooks and Dunn several years. ZZ Top did about 15 dates, as I recall, with Brooks and Dunn on our Cowboy Town tour. And this is a shot that I took of them in concert one evening, and I could not tell you where it was taken. Somewhere in America, I do know that. Huge Skynyrd fan. Freebird, one of my all-time favorite songs. It is the classic rock anthem. Anyway, I wanted to represent Lynyrd Skynyrd. Of course, sadly, all the original members have passed, and but I wanted to keep their memory alive. This TCB, this diamond TCB, Elvis gave to Ron Pietrofesso in Colorado. He's a Denver cop. Of course, you can see him being interviewed by myself on our Rockology YouTube series. And the TCB was given to Ron actually twice. Elvis gave it to him without diamonds, and then he saw it a couple years later and said, hey, why don't you have diamonds on it? And Ron's like, well, it didn't have diamonds when you gave it to me. And Elvis was kind of like, hey, I think it's time now you have TCB with diamonds. He had Joe make sure that diamonds got put on it and that it was re-gifted back to Ron. I bought that several years ago as a guitar, Johnny Cash guitar that I once had for sale. I'm a huge 80s glam rock guy, so I love Guns N' Roses. In fact, this Guns N' Roses is an early appearance poster, and I did an episode on them on our Raiders of Rock TV series on CMT. I'm a huge Poison fan, and after Elvis, a distant second, but after Elvis, Guns N' Roses is my favorite band slash artist. Right here is a Harvey Krantz suit. It's Hank Snow, Grand Ole Opry star Hank Snow wore it. And of course, Hank Snow was on RCA with Elvis, sold 80 million plus records. And this suit was a tribute to Hank Williams, which was Hank Snow's idol. And I once owned that suit. It is now in a museum at the Heart of Texas Country Music Museum in Brady, Texas. You got to go, incredible collection. We're going to do an episode on his museum alone. Elvis, of course, more Elvis representation. You can never have enough. This is a Style B poster. It's Elvis on tour, and it's called the Style B. To me, it's one of the greatest images of rock and roll. And so I've got that poster there. And then got a nudie suit. Can't have country music represented without a nudie suit. This down here is the artwork from Lefty Frizzell's nudie that was found in a storage facility here in Nashville. And I ended up buying it, ended up selling it to my friend at the Heart of Texas Country Music Museum in Brady, Texas. It's now on display there. And then lastly is an Elvis customized gun. Elvis, of course, was into guns. This particular gun has got the TCB engraved. It was just a custom handgun that I'd brokered several years ago. A friend bought it, and he has since sold it, and it's now in a collection somewhere here in the country. So, but that's my truck. That explains all the photos, and that's a wrap.